guys, welcome back to my channel. So this week's video is going to be a little bit different in spite of everything that's going on. So in this video I'm just going to be talking about like the whole Black Lives Matter thing and just everything that's been going on for like the past week or so. So I'm just gonna start the video now because it might be quite long, so yeah. So first of all, I'm gonna talk about All Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter and that whole, thing. And also, if I keep looking down a lot, it's because I have notes on my iPad, because I feel like if I didn't have notes, I would just start rambling and ranting, and nobody wants to see that kind of video. All lives cannot matter until Black Lives Matter. And I know that sounds like a very harsh, blunt statement, but it's true. Because I assume when people say all lives matter, they mean like everyone is equal, all lives matter, but it's not true, because obviously people don't believe that black people are equal to the rest of society. So all lives cannot matter until Black Lives Matter. When Black Lives Matter, we can have an all lives matter conversation, but for now, when you say all lives matter, it's basically saying you're against Black Lives Matter, which we're not gonna get into that. And I think some people think that Black Lives Matter is racist, and I don't know why. I think maybe they think that when you say Black Lives Matter, that you're basically saying black people are superior, but no one is saying that, because obviously no one is superior. We're all supposed to be equal, but at the moment people act like black people aren't equal. People act like black people are lower than the rest of society. So Black Lives Matter is not racist, and I'm sorry if you thought that, but no. And another point is that I feel like some people, when they say all lives matter, I can see that some people actually think they're a bit naive, and they think that when people say all lives matter, they're saying, oh, everyone's equal, we're all having a fun, loving, whatever, multicultural rainbow, if you want to call it that. But those people don't know enough about it, and they're not as educated as they should be on it, because if they were I don't really sound mean, but if they were paying attention, they would realize that when people say all lives matter, that's not what they mean, and it's a completely different thing to what people with that mindset are thinking. So there's some truly innocent people when they say that, but honestly, I can't. Sometimes you just don't know. Because throughout this week, I've been, not talking to, but I've been experiencing, you can't experience a person, but okay, yeah, let's just say I've been talking to a bunch of people who have a whole different mindset. So a bunch of people are trying to educate them. But the other night, a few people from my old school started going on live, and they were on live with this girl from I don't know where, a Spanish speaking country, and then she was trying to come up with the point that's oh, violence isn't the answer. If black people are being violent during the protests and stuff, that that's just gonna set them back. But I feel during that time, I feel there was a language barrier, and also I feel we're trying to say the same thing, but then a bunch of people had to come across to her, because I don't think she was understanding. So we were all on live, watching the live until 5 a.m. and I had school the next day. But I just wanted to see someone be educated, because I mean, in the end she understood, but it just took a lot. So you really have to educate yourself. But another day we were talking with this guy. He was basically saying that there's police brutality in all races, and I bet that's true, but it doesn't happen as much as it does to black people. And so the guy was oh yeah, it doesn't happen a lot because it's not reported in the news. And I'm okay, even if it's not reported enough in the news, I bet those people who are victims of police brutality who are not black are not, nothing happens to them because of the color of their skin. But the problem is, with black people, it happens because of the color of their skin, which obviously is wrong. but that person didn't want to be educated, so it was just a bunch of arguing at the end of it all. But I guess some people just don't want to be educated, and some people are being very close-minded. But I'm gonna stop talking because my blood is boiling. Obviously, I'm not the most educated person on this topic, but I feel like it's a really good thing to educate yourself on Black oppression, because if you don't know what's happening, then how are you going to support it? And how can you make a decision based on things that you don't know? I just realized how that sounded. When I said it, I meant the Black Lives Matter movement, not Black oppression. Sorry. So I feel like good ways to educate yourself are like watching documentaries and movies. And we're all in quarantine right now, so everyone who is binging Netflix, if you want to binge Outer Banks, you can binge When They See Us, and some documentaries like 13th, and even like a movie. Go watch The Hate You Give, because that's a really good movie to educate yourself about Black oppression. And also, if all else fails, just if you're not Black, then talk to your Black friends about Black oppression, because maybe you need that like first-hand experience, because some people just don't understand. And another point, which I didn't write down, so I'm probably gonna start rambling, is that I feel like it should be in the curriculum. Like, I can't really speak for like American history curriculum because I don't know what you guys learn in that curriculum, but in the British curriculum, there's like, we don't talk about slavery or anything that has to do with Black people, I think. Because in my school, apparently slavery used to be on the history curriculum for year 9, but then they removed it. So, I mean, this was before I went there, so I don't really know. But why did they remove it? That's the one question I have to ask. But I just feel like it should be part of the curriculum. If there's anyone watching right now that is, honestly, I'm just gonna say, if you're not Black and you're watching this video, but necessarily if you're Caucasian, recognize your white privilege, because it's a thing. And honestly, it's not necessarily a bad thing for you. For me, that's a different thing, but it's not something negative. It's just, you need to recognize it. Don't pretend like you don't have white privilege, because you do. Because when you get out of the house, you're not scared. Like, you just go on with your normal day. You're not scared if someone's gonna think you're up to something when you're not. And it doesn't really mean that you don't go through any hardships, because you might be struggling with other things, but it just means that your hardships aren't based on the color of your skin, which I don't think people realize that when people say white privilege, that's what they mean. And like, also, like, white privilege, you have to be anti-racist. You can't just not be racist. You have to be anti-racist, because it's not enough to just be like, yeah, I'm neutral, da 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 da. Yeah, it just, no. You have to use your voice. You have to speak upon it, because honestly, when people are silent, obviously it's going to be taken as, oh, you don't care. So this part is mostly for Black people who are not American, so like Africans, Afro-Brazilians, whatever. Okay, so just because you're not America or you're not in America doesn't mean you can't help or care for the Black Lives Matter movement. Because it seems to me that a lot of people are like, oh, I'm in Nigeria, so it doesn't matter. And I'm like, no, because first of all, there's racism in other countries, just not just America. Like, a lot of people seem to say like, oh, it doesn't pertain to me because I'm in the UK, and I'm just like, there's racism in the UK too. It's racism without guns, because America needs to sort out the gun control, but that's a conversation for another day. There's racism in other countries, not just America, so I feel like people are really close-minded in that point of view. And then also, if you're black, regardless of whether you're African American, like if you end up one day and you're just walking down the street in America, you're still at risk, because no one is gonna ask whether your name is Oluwafemi or Jada. Like nobody knows whether you're Nigerian, Kenyan, whatever, or if you're like African American, if you know what I mean. And also, even if you're in other countries, because right now I'm not in America, I'm in Nigeria, but you can still raise awareness, you can still sign petitions, you can still donate, etc., etc. So it's not, honestly, there's just some people who are very ignorant, who think that it only pertains to America. Like it's a whole worldwide thing. Like there are protests going on in like Germany, UK, whatever. Like there's, oh my god, there was a country, I think it was Syria or something, and they were like, I don't know if they were protesting, but there was a picture of them with signs like, we're supporting Black Lives Matter, and I'm like, they're in the middle of a war and they're still supporting, so you have no excuse. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about the protests that are going on, specifically in America, because that's a lot of what I'm seeing. Okay, so a lot of people seem to think that the whole rioting and looting is like, the protesters are doing that. If you're actually like reading the news, well, okay, not the news, but I'll get into that later, you can see that it's the police that are starting all these things. Like it was a policeman that set the Target on fire. Policemen are breaking glass windows of shops. It's not the protesters, because every single protest that I've seen has started out peacefully, and it's the police that are escalating things. Literally, I just saw a video of these people where they were telling the police to take a knee, and the police took a knee, so everyone else was like coming close to them like, wow, congratulations, whatever. And then they started throwing tear gas and started shooting rubber bullets. Like the police are doing this on purpose. They're just, I don't know what the purpose is. Like at least just let them protest. Like it's a literal right. I have the right to protest. I have the right of freedom of speech. So I don't understand why the police are doing that, but ACAB. Okay, all cops are bad. Like I made a point earlier about how the news, but not really the news. It's because you only see the violence on the news, like CNN, BBC, whatever, because it's biased. If you look at Twitter, you can see that every single protest has started out peacefully. And yes, I know there's some people who are going to be like, Twitter isn't a valid news source. Instagram isn't a valid news source. Yes, it is. I said yes, they are. I meant Twitter and Instagram are valid sources, not that they are invalid news sources. Because it's not biased, it's from every single point of view, and it's in real time from real people. All these CNN stuff and whatever, they're all biased, and they're only showing the violent parts of the protest to make us seem bad. Okay, not us, because I'm not protesting, but you get what I mean. Now I'm gonna talk about influencers, especially the white ones, being silent. First of all, you're an influencer for a reason. You influence people, and you being silent is telling people that you don't care about the movement. And maybe you don't, but that's not a good look for you, and it's fundamentally not okay either. But influencer, influence people to speak up, donate, sign petitions, whatever, but you're not doing that. And even if they talk after they've gotten pressured into speaking out, it always starts with, it's taking me a long time to process. No, because like, I don't understand. If children are processing it quicker than you have to think. Because I literally just saw a video of a 9-year-old girl at a protest. I'm 15 years old. I'm scared on my own to go to a protest, even though I can't really because I'm in Nigeria. But if a 9-year-old can go to a protest, you can make an Instagram post. Like, it's not that. And also, I just have another thing. You know that Black Lives Matter Instagram chain that was like, oh, tag 10 people who won't break the chain or whatever. okay, if you're not an influencer, if you're just like a regular person who like your Instagram followers or your friends, okay, whatever, do the Instagram chain because it's kind of spreading awareness, but not really. But I mean, if you don't really have a platform and you can't really influence people, I mean, there's no harm in doing it. And I just feel like there's some people who are condemning other people for doing it, and I'm just like, no, don't condemn people, because then you're just pulling people apart. And this whole thing, we're supposed to be bringing people together. So if they want to do the Instagram chain, fine, but do something else. At least sign a petition if you don't have money to donate, whatever. But influencers doing the chain, nah, that's dumb. Influencers? Someone with 1 million followers? No. Even more, because Kylie Jenner did the chain, and I was just like, Kylie, like, no, don't, because you can do more with your platform. And also, open your purse, because you are basically a billionaire. I don't know if you actually are a billionaire because Forbes kind of exposed you or whatever, but open your purse. Like, don't tell me that, oh, I don't have enough money to do this and this and this and this, because yes, you do. Because when it's time to flex on Instagram with all your cars and your bags and your nails and your whatever, that's what you love to do. But when it's time to speak about important movements, it's, no, I just didn't think it was my place to talk. I'm just like, Black Lives Matter is not black against white. It's racist against non-racists. I mean, basically, it's everyone else versus the racists. So I just don't understand that whole thing of, yeah, no, I just didn't feel it was my place to comment. It took me a while to process. Nah, cut the BS. Cut the BS. Like, because there's influencers that are actually doing stuff and they're not as big as influencers, but they're influencing. And then there's the people with like, I don't know how, like 50 million Instagram followers who are doing the chain. Like, I don't get it. Like, if, like, for example, Halsey, come on. I don't even listen to her music, but I'm really supporting her and what she's doing. Then you have Kalani and even like Edwin from Pretty Much. Like, they're all using their platform well, instead of top 10 people who won't break the chain. Like, no. Some people may think that this is kind of irrelevant. I'm not sure if it's relevant or irrelevant, but I'm gonna talk about Donald Trump. Because he is something else. Because I'm just going to talk about him because everyone keeps bringing him up in every single argument that I've had or debate that I've had. First of all, how are you going to call people thugs for protesting when it's the police officers that are starting all these riots and looting and whatnot, and you're going to call protesters thugs? Back up. Because it was a few months ago when white supremacists were protesting with guns because they didn't want to stay at home and because of coronavirus, and they wanted to go get a haircut. Sweetie, that was for your own safety. And Trump called them good people, but I'm protesting for my life and you're calling me a thug? Sweetie, we got some issues. Also, as of recent, he was hiding in his bunker. This is the first time that the White House lights have ever gone off, apparently. You're hiding in a bunker? Pourquoi? ¿Por qué? Why? For what? Are you scared? Are you scared to speak up? No? Because you know that your opinions are wrong? Donald Trump? I don't understand. And also, I just don't understand the people that support Donald Trump voted for Donald Trump because, okay, so a president leads a country. A country has people in it. Yes, America is a capitalist country, but there are people in America. How are you gonna have a whole racist man and a rapist in office leading a country? Nah, sweetie, that's not it. That is not it. Because how are you gonna tell me a rapist is leading a country? How are you gonna tell me a racist or rapist is leading a country? I will never understand. Because at least in Nigeria, the leaders are corrupt. But I ain't never heard of a racist, rapist president of Nigeria. Like, how do you vote for such a man? Like, cause every time I'm in a discussion about politics or whatever, and I'm just like, okay, let's say I post something about Bernie or Biden on my story. Someone always swipes up and is like, yeah, but Bernie is a socialist with $1 million houses, and I'm just like, so he would lead the country better. But Americans, well, most Americans are either don't know who they're voting for, are voting for the wrong person, or didn't vote, which you should vote. And I just don't understand. How you're gonna do that. Just don't get it. Like, they always bring up that argument, and then they're always like, oh, but what did Obama do? And I'm just like, Obama, at least, okay, I don't really know what he did for America per se, but I know Obama is a good man and Donald Trump is not, which automatically makes Obama a better president, in my opinion. If you have your own opinion, sure, but I mean, I wouldn't have the wrong opinion if I were you, but I digress. Also, I don't think there's anyone watching this video who can vote, because either you're not American or you're not 18 and in America, an American. But on the off chance that there is, please vote this Cheeto out. Please do. Because if I could, I would. But I'm not American. I don't have an American passport. I have a British passport and a Nigerian passport. So unfortunately, I cannot vote this man out. But if you can, please do it, because no, we're not gonna have another 4 years of this ugly Cheeto. Because, I'm not gonna lie, if Donald Trump is doing his nonsense and removing stuff that are like anti-Trump, I'm so sorry, I'm pretty sure this video is gonna get taken down. But please get him out of office. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm not American, so it doesn't, okay, not the people who can vote, that's not what I'm talking about, I'm just talking about in general. People are like, oh, I'm not American, so it doesn't matter whether Trump is in power or not. And I'm just like, yes, it does, sweetie, because America is like the most influential country in the world. And if you say that otherwise, that's a lie, because everyone thinks America is wow. I'm just like, no, because there's a racist, rapist Cheeto in the office. So yeah, anyways, if you couldn't get from all of that, I hate Donald Trump. Thank you. Okay, so now I'm gonna, like, this is at the end of my list, and I'm just gonna be telling you about ways you can help, and also I'm gonna link some more in the description below if you look at the description if you want. So ways to help. You can donate, okay? If you have money, donate. Here are some examples of places you can donate to: the George Floyd Memorial Fund, the Black Visions Collective, and Reclaim the Black. And also there's a video going around. Actually, there are quite a few videos going around with, like, people are making YouTube videos and donating the money that they get from AdSense to donate. So I will link some of those videos down below as well on like the donate section. And also sign petitions. Like, it's really not that hard. It takes 2 minutes max to put your name in the, what's it called, in the petition form thing. Like, it's really not that hard. Yeah, but I think change.org was having a bit of a problem yesterday, which to me was a bit sus, but I digress. So sign petitions like to ban the use of rubber bullets, to raise the degree because what is this man's name? Derek Chauvin only got charged with 3rd-degree murder, but it's obviously 1st-degree murder, or at least 2nd, because that was not a mistake. And also justice for Breonna Taylor. Okay, and also raise awareness. Like, okay, if you don't want to donate, if you don't want to text, call, whatever, the least you can do is raise awareness, because really, it's really not hard to repost something on Instagram. It's really not that hard to have a conversation with your racist friends and family and be like, hey, look, you know, this is what we're not gonna do. So just raise awareness, because at least you're gonna, like, at least just raise awareness. Okay, and then also you can email, text, and call. Like, a lot of organizations like call the DA Mike Freeman to prosecute Derek Chauvin, and I'm gonna butcher this man's name so badly, but honestly I don't care. Thao. Okay, yeah. Because, okay, so call him if you're in America, because actually you can do it if you're not in America, but that's gonna waste all your data, all your credit, whatever. And also, if you're in America, text justice to 668-336. Do that, but I'm not in America, so can't do that. But for international people, there's like email templates going around where you email the Minneapolis police to prosecute Derek Chauvin and this Thao guy. And I will link those and some more in the comment section. I will link those and more in the description below. Yeah. So if you made it to the end of this video, which I doubt you did, but if you did, thank you for watching this video. I just wanted to raise awareness because I wasn't gonna post anything this week, but I was like, you know what, I might as well post because like I need to raise awareness, even though I have like 30 subscribers at the moment. Maybe it'll get out, maybe this is the one that people are gonna see, so I'd rather have this one be the one that people see. So I just felt like I needed to raise awareness. So yeah, that's the end of the video, and